Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I thought I would talk to you guys about something that I don't know if this is even going to be a popular video in the sense of if anyone's even going to watch it or care. But you know, sometimes videos that I do are hit or miss like that. But I'm hoping that actually this will have some outreach for a reason, and that is because I have noticed that regular gym goers, people who work out, that ADHD seems to be represented there disproportionately to the general population. I've also noticed PTSD as well, but that's kind of a separate topic. The reason I say that, so people would say, well, why do you think that is? Well, the reason I think that is because people with ADHD, and you guys probably know Brittany has ADHD. She talks about it a little bit on Instagram and stuff. My girlfriend Brittany has ADHD, and I train her. And she isn't medicated for her ADHD. She doesn't take meds for it. So something I've noted with her and other people I have known who have adult ADHD, some things I've noted about them, they like to try a lot of new things, to try to find things that are interesting to them because they get bored really easy. They get bored with hobbies, they get bored with activities, and they flip from activity to activity trying to find things that they enjoy. And they're usually very, very quick to try new things. So accordingly, when something as popular as working out catches their interest, they're very likely to dive in and try it. So as a demographic, they are very, very likely to try it. And they usually find, the majority that I've talked to at least, and that could be incorrect, it's just based on my experience, seem to note that lifting weights and resistance training seems to be therapeutic for them. It seems to be therapeutic for people with a lot of various conditions, not just ADHD. That's just one of many. PTSD, anxiety, depression, all sorts of things. But they find it to be therapeutic. Now, due to the unfortunate nature of ADHD, and I'm going to jump over to a positive before this is done, because actually ADHD is kind of a blessing and a curse, isn't it? Anyone who really has it or been around people who have it, they know what I'm talking about. It actually has a big blessing in the middle of the whole curse of it. And that's what I'm going to focus on as we get further into the video. But what I've noticed, they tend to go with some of the most inefficient, ineffective training routines, namely body part splits. Why? Because they have continual variety, right? They rotate through an arm day, chest day, leg day. And because these routines let them switch exercises 4 or 5 times in a workout, because you oftentimes do 4 or 5 different exercises for one body part on this sort of training, right? It makes it appeal to them because they can come in and train and continually change what they do. And we know, based upon real experience in observing people, these sort of routines actually give the slowest results. Not saying they don't give results, but they are slower. They're markedly slower than big barbell-based full body type workouts. Generally, not always, but the majority of the time, depending on how they're structured. It is very hard to get people with ADHD to stick to a full body program. Why? Like, man, I did squats last workout. I did barbell rows last workout, and the workout before that, and the workout before that. I don't want to come in and do the same exercise every time. I'm going to come in and do 3 sets of 5 or 5 sets of 5 every time I come to the gym at the start of it with the same exercise. This is boring. They get bored with it. And accordingly, you know, people say things like different things work for different people. No, they don't. You're not a special snowflake. You know what? That has been proven to be incorrect when you have guys like the starting strength people, the Ripto and all of them, who they have successfully put everybody on the same starting program. In other words, they put 60-year-old grandmothers on the exact same program they put a high school football player on who's trying to get a scholarship. Different things work for different people. No, they don't. Resistance is resistance. Recovery is recovery. A squat is a squat. That's nonsense. But they'll oftentimes say, well, I didn't get results on this program and I quit doing it. Well, it's because they got bored doing it and they didn't follow it correctly. It's a problem. That is a problem. Anyone who runs a program like that, any of the basic proven full body beginner barbell programs who doesn't get good results didn't follow the program correctly. That's been noted by everyone who coaches people in these. Only people not getting good results are people who didn't follow it. Well, people with ADHD are not likely to follow that sort of program. Now, we come over to the training style that I'm currently using. And what do I do? Throughout the week, I have 4 different training days to where I focus on one big lift. Now, this isn't really a training split, because if you come in and you focus on doing a ton of sets with deadlifts and that's 90% of your workout, deadlift's a full body exercise. You come in and you spend a full day doing an overhead press or a push press, that's a full body workout. You spend an hour doing squats, that's a full body workout, because then whatever accessory work you do afterwards, you start getting into training to where it's not really the same as a split, because you're not coming and doing a couple sets of squats and jumping over into leg extensions and leg curls and calling it a leg day. All right, you're doing an exercise that works at least 50% of the muscles in the body, if not more, on most of the days on a program like this, right? Where you come in and do 10, try to build to 10 sets of 3 with a weight that's manageable so that you can focus on every rep and build with volume. Now, one of the 2 things I've noticed is that people with ADHD don't do well with high rep programs unless they're just training to failure and they don't have to count reps. They don't like to count reps. They lose count of their reps. Brittany doesn't count her reps. She struggles with 5 sometimes. She's like, was that 4 or 5? It's like, that was 4. Okay, one more. You start having them do 8 or more reps, they lose count. Again, I've worked with several people over the years with ADHD. It's a common trend. They don't like counting reps. They don't like doing the same exercise 2 workouts in a row either. Now, you factor all of that in, and then we go back to this other element of it. When you come in and you do this sort of training, which I kind of almost call training mastery, I think that's the way to look at it. You are mastering an exercise. It's exercise mastery. You're coming in and focusing on one exercise for probably an hour. Nothing but that exercise. Low rep sets with perfect form. So you're focused on every rep. You only have to do 3 reps. Try to get perfect focus and form on all 3 reps. Everyone who has ADHD also seems to have the ability to hyper focus. They can hyper focus on something for an hour straight and obsess over it and put an extreme amount of concentration in it to the point to where they forget to eat, they forget to sleep, they forget to do anything but that activity. They're good at hyper focus once they say, okay, I need to focus on this right here. They're very good at it. So what happens when you throw someone with ADHD onto an exercise and say, I need you to hyper focus on this exercise for an hour straight? Every rep needs to be perfect. Their mindset, the mentality and the ability of people with ADHD to hyper focus is actually an asset on this style of training, because they will come in and they will master that exercise. They will work really hard to make sure every single rep is perfect in that 3 rep set. And they will do it over and over and over until they get it perfect. Until they get it perfect in that workout. They will not leave the gym when you force them to focus on that exercise. So this exercise got to be done right. You've got to master this lift. And they come in and focus on it. They will hyper focus and perfect that exercise before they leave the gym that day. They'll come in and they'll do 7, 8, 9, 10 sets, just like you want with a 10 set of 3 protocol. And because they only have to get 3 reps each time, they'll make sure all 3 of those are perfect. They've only got to count 3 of them. And they can focus on them. They're not losing count going, is that 8 or 9? And lose track and their mind wanders off. No, they'll focus on that 3. These 3 reps right here. These 3. And they will perfect it. They'll master those exercises very fast in this system. So they'll spend a whole workout working on one exercise. Then they can, goof off and switch and do a few exercises, their accessories or whatever. And that's how they'll see it, their accessories or whatever. And that's how you should look at accessories. And then the next time they come to the gym, they have a totally different exercise, a new exercise. Oh, it was squats last time. It's going to be the strict press today. It's going to be the push press today. That's what I'm going to do. And they will come in and hyper focus on that exercise for an hour. This sort of system, because you can do it with big barbell exercises that give you the most bang for your buck, and you will get an overlap of muscle protein synthesis. A training system like this, because it's based around mastery, low rep count, and focusing on an exercise for an hour straight with maximum concentration, no change of focus, you just got to focus. It works fantastically well for people with ADHD. In fact, just looking at it in the way that these people operate and think, I think they will thrive on a system like this. I would predict that people with adult ADHD will most likely make the best gains of their life following a 10 set of 3 protocol, to where you come in and focus on mastering a big exercise when you come to the gym, and a different one the next couple times you come in. So you're probably doing, again, 4 different exercises that way over the course of a week. They'll do really well on it. Just throwing that out there. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.